Well, this is a stunning revelation. The Trump administration has moved more than a quarter of the FBI agents who are left, at least those who haven't been fired or whom haven't resigned, in the nation's 25 largest FBI field offices to support the DHS immigration crackdown, the ICE thuggery. That is insane. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. I read that from a report that Senator Mark Warner of Virginia's office obtained from the FBI. Warner is the top-ranking Democrat on the National Intelligence Committee, and he wanted to see the numbers. And this was a couple months ago, but the report really went sort of under the radar in the crazy news cycle of the Trump regime. But the reason that I find this so shocking is that all of those agents who are now working with the ICE Gestapo thugs aren't working on their specialized training, for example, on counterterrorism initiative. Chris O'Leary, who is a former FBI senior executive and special agent, told the Washington Post this, quote, "We are weakening ourselves day by day. Having agents walk the beat and conduct immigration arrests is really a misuse of exquisite ability." And I love what he says there about exquisite ability. Many of these agents are highly educated. They have advanced degrees, many of them. This is just a complete waste of a brain trust of resources, all to fulfill Trump's racist and bigoted objectives. And according to the Washington Post, Senator Warner believes that the number of agents who have been redirected away from counterterrorism, cybercrimes, counterintelligence, child crimes, etc., is actually much higher than the 25% that was included in that report, because the numbers that Warner got only count the agents who are spending more than half their time with ICE. So there could be many other agents who are spending maybe 25% or 30%, you see? So this is really alarming, I think. And Senator Warner put out a statement at the time saying, quote, "When you pull a quarter of the FBI's top agents off the front lines of fighting terrorists, spies, drug traffickers, and violent criminals, the consequences are clear. Critical national security work gets sidelined, and our country is put at greater risk." Well, yeah, no effing kidding. So why am I reporting on this now? Well, in light of the tragedy that just occurred in Washington, D.C. with the two National Guards members getting shot, one of them fatally, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, and the other Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf in critical condition at the time that I am doing this report, and I'm praying that he survives. It begs the question, could this tragedy have been prevented if Trump, Kristi Noem, and Kash Patel hadn't taken so many expertly trained FBI agents and sent them to terrorize American cities and instead allowed them to do their jobs with their highly specific training? I mean, what the hell? Furthermore, the alleged shooter, Rahmanullah Lakwanal, 29 years old, was reportedly recruited by the CIA Spec Ops unit known as Zero Unit in Afghanistan when he was only a kid, 15 years old. And then he spent the next 10 years of his life working intimately with this CIA unit.
You know, he was part of this CIA-backed elite Afghan unit. And this right now shows some details where they operated in Afghanistan, but also the vetting process. Supposedly they went through biometric screenings, in-person interviews, which is very interesting. And Lakwanwal's connection here, he was assigned to this O3 unit, recruited and trained by the CIA to fight against the Taliban. This group, also, Rebecca, known for their brutality and called death squads. So,
by the way, there were several human rights watch groups that referred to that particular unit, Zero Unit, as one that regularly violated human rights while they were on the move in Afghanistan. Well, in any event, now Kash Patel is saying that the FBI is conducting an investigation about Lakwanal's potential terrorism ties with other people.
Numerous electronic devices from the suspect's house and interviewed the suspect's relatives. There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the United States of America.
And furthermore, before Lakanal was even allowed into the United States, under the Operation Allies Welcome program, he would have been extensively vetted. Biometrics, background checks, everything, because he was already working with the CIA. And Trump's administration granted him asylum this past April in 2025. But of course, that didn't stop the bigot, misogynist, and pathological liar-in-chief from spewing his green pea soup everywhere.
A question about this tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. U.S. officials say that the suspect worked very closely with the CIA in Afghanistan for years, that he was vetted, and the vetting came up clean.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens, too. It happens too often with these people. You see them. But look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other. And that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out. But they go cuckoo. Something happens to them.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration for what this man did?
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here. And you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in and they were unvetted.
Everything that Trump just said is a lie, is factually untrue. He doesn't know what the actual fuck is going on in the government anytime, anywhere. He's completely clueless. The only thing that Donald Trump cares about is lining his pockets with billions of dollars at our expense and choosing hideous, ugly ass gold font for labeling things inside and outside the Oval Office and having his enormously gaudy, hideous monstrosity of a ballroom. That's really the only thing that concerns Donald Trump day to day. He is just completely unfit, and his behavior right there and every day is unacceptable. He is mentally unstable, as I say all the time here. He is a psychopath. He has no empathy, zero care for anyone but himself. And by the way, factually, he is a criminal. He was convicted 34 times. He was also found liable for sexual abuse. So in no universe should the president be allowed to treat any reporter or any woman the way that he does on the regular. And by my count, that's the fourth, fifth, possibly sixth time that Trump has attacked a female reporter just in the last 2 weeks alone. He is an absolute monster, and everyone just lets this roll like no big deal. Like we're just going to keep flying along Air Force One or just all look around as he's attacking. Nancy Cordes, I think, was in that one. The reporter from Bloomberg, and I'm forgetting the one from ABC News right now. But my God, we should not allow this to be normalized. It is repugnant, hideous behavior. Lastly, this is not reported often enough, but the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan was a direct result of Donald Trump's failure in his presidency. A 12-page government review by the National Security Council blamed the chaos of the U.S. troop withdrawal on Trump. So you always see the right-wingers blaming Biden for everything. Well, this report noted that Trump's failure to negotiate with the elected Afghanistan government gave the Taliban the most power that they had ever had, because Trump's regime was negotiating with the Taliban instead of the rightfully elected Afghani government at the time. Isn't that just so on brand? He's dealing with the dictatorship people. Trump also drew down the U.S. troops from 13,000 to 2,500 right before he left the White House in January of 2021, giving the Taliban the military edge. And President Biden, once again, was left to clean up the utter shit show that Trump left behind in America. But 77 million Americans thought it was a good idea to vote him back in office. I seriously can't. I just can't. I can't. One more thing. Deploying National Guards troops to D.C. is illegal per a federal judge's ruling. So those Guards members shouldn't have even been in D.C. They should have been home with their families or doing something else, not wandering around like picking up trash. It is such a horrific tragedy. My heart is broken for their families and for the other Guards members in their units. This should never have happened, but we have this racist piece of crap precedent. I cringe even using that phrase. Anyway, I'll see you back here soon. I hope that you had a good holiday amidst all the tragedy and the chaos. It's important to reconnect with friends and family. But meanwhile, we have this just complete chaos going on. And he's weaponizing our National Guards troops and FBI agents for his own selfish personal means. And it's gross and it's disgusting. And I'm here to call it out every time. I will see you back here soon. Remember to remain fierce, engaged, but not overwhelmed. And as always, hold on to your peace.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.